Hey folks, welcome to another video in my Python tutorial series. My name is Ajit and let's quickly jump onto it. In this section, we will see how to accept inputs from the users. So when we do programming, what we essentially do is we try and solve the user's problem. And in order to solve any problem, you often need inputs from the users as to what the user is trying to do and what they're trying to achieve. So it's accepting input is also very important part of the programming. So far we have seen how to output the output the result on the terminal, but this time we will also learn how to accept the input. So accepting input is very simple. You just write a function called input. So for output we have print, for input we have input. So what should you do? Generally, as a best practice, you could always store that in the input in the variable. So let's call it name, and whatever we're going to do, whatever we're going to get via input, it will be stored. So let's simply and then let's print it. Okay, so whatever we're going to accept over here, we will simply write it. So as you can see, you have a blank cursor. I could give any name, so let's say Paul, and then I would just hit enter and it prints Paul, but it doesn't give any sort of idea as to what happened where. So in the input, you could always give some indicator. So for example, I'm going to say, please enter your name, right? And colon and space. So that's where user will put the input and then we will get the output, right? So in the output as well, we will modify it a little bit and we'll say f formatted string and we'll say hello and whatever the input we receive. So that's how you use the data inputted from the user. So far we have seen only static information, how to output this static information, but now this is getting dynamic. You're getting towards the interesting part of the programming where you're accepting the name and then you're trying to greet the user. So this works similarly in case, when you get your users to log on to the website. As soon as they log on, probably in the right hand top corner, you greet them, hello, whatever the name is, and that's how this function happens. So let's clear this console first and print the output. So it gives us a prompt, please enter your name, and we now know that we need to enter the name and hit enter, and it says hello Ajit. So that's how accepting the user input is. And remember, I told you about never to trust the user input, because you never know what the user is going to input. So for example, I do this again and I say plus and then I say Ajit and then plus again, and so you could see that this program is pretty bad. So what you could simply do is you could use one of the strings method and use strip as a method, and now let's see what happens. So no matter how so I should do it over here. No matter what sort of, it's going to print it neat and clean. So that's how these things are. Many times what happens, you want to just get the integer as an output, right? So let's say age is the is something that you're looking for, and let's print age. Well, but instead of age, I just turn this and it would print this. So if you want to convert the data in any different sort of type, you could simply put that in this function called int. So int function is used to convert any sort of data into int. So you could see that over here, and now I have, and I could see 52 and it returns 52. You are right. So let's enter your, sorry, I'm not 52 by the way, still very young. Sorry, I made a mistake here somewhere. Please enter your age, and you are blah blah blah. please enter your age. I enter 25 and it says you are 25. So simple, but this time let's try and use string here and see what happens. So it gives invalid literal for int with base. So it doesn't accept it. It's going to give you an error message. So eventually this is not what we want. We want the user to correct the input. But yeah, but we will see that later, how to handle these errors. So this time we got the value error. So this is the kind of error that we have received. But yeah, if you want to convert it into string, you could int, you could do this way. And similarly with float, if you want to convert that into float, let's say here, please enter your number. So let's take any number and convert it into float, and let's name this so it looks sensible. So let's do this and let's enter any number. So for example, I enter integer, it's going to convert it into float, right? And that's how simple it is to accept the input from the user. You know, Python is, as I said before, is known for its simplicity. Look at the functions that we have seen so far: print, string with upper, lower, title, capitalize, input functions. These are very simple functions and you can easily remember them just by their names. So as soon as you see the function on the screen on your computer, you should be able to identify what that program exactly does. And Python maintains this simplicity throughout. So even though you go through large programs, if the code writer is sensible enough, then you would be able to learn and understand that program very easily, you know. So you don't have to put in a lot of efforts there. So that's all in this accepting inputs with Python. We will move further in our next videos. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up as well. I would really appreciate that. Thank you.